Right, so here we are. Welcome back. This is Q&A number 11 of the series. A very silly asking questions sessions and answering things. And for the purposes of today, we have the very lovely Mr. Dyson.
Hi, hang on.
And the very knowledgeable Mrs. Penny Pistop.
I just read the questions.
And me too. Okay, right, so we have tea.
We have tea, cake. And today we have McVitie's. There are other brands available.
Because we don't do product placement.
We don't do product placement.
So I had to turn my cup round so I've got lemon meringue pie cake.
Lemon meringue pie cake.
That's like the best of everything, isn't it?
It's like a hybrid, isn't it? What is it like? Is it nice?
How did I get there last? How did that happen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Lemon meringue pie cake.
It has to be said, I know we don't do product placement, but I like Mr. Kidman. I imagine he's a really, really nice man.
It's easy for you to say. Oh.
Right.
You carry on.
Let's
and ask
launch
more.
into the questions. Right, first question. Tregs. Would you ever open your own mechanic school? If not, why not?
School, did you say? I can't teach anyone anything.
No, he's a monkey. And he says, I remember you saying you had 60 odd bikes. Which one has been your top 5 and why? You have a lot of explaining to do.
We could be here a while.
We could be here sometime, but we have cake.
Well, I'll tell you what, you talk, I'll have these, and we're all good.
This is my cake. Blimey, would I open a garage teaching? No, not interested. YouTube is for that purpose. That's why we do it this way. I'm not a qualified mechanic, teacher, instructor, tutor anyway, so I wouldn't be qualified to do that. What we do on YouTube is what we do, and if you can use it, use it.
Also, there's a massive cost involved.
There is, really, honestly. A garage, honestly, even if I was just to replace what's in here, it would be 5-10 grand, all the machines and, you know, stuff and equipment and tools. It just goes on and on. So, no, couldn't afford it, and I've worked in the bike industry for 10 years. Kind of had enough, really. Happy to do what we do now. And what's the last question? What's the top 5 bike?
Yeah, what's been your top 5 and why?
Top 5 bikes.
So then you've had a few bikes.
You've had loads of bikes too. What are your top 5 bikes? You like
I always struggle with this question. I always struggle with it.
What, for choice?
Yeah, because I like them all.
Jay Leno said that.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the problem. I mean, I've owned things as diverse as the old urinal 650 sidecar outfit, which
that's taking the piss.
Which, I mean,
did you like what?
I nearly spilled my tea.
What else do you come here for? What a load of rubbish.
You know,
I love them.
I mean, an absolute hoot.
Oh.
You know, but you know, would I go out and buy one tomorrow? Nah. But don't know. No idea.
It's difficult to know, isn't it? Well, your top 5 bike is always usually one that you own currently, isn't it? Surely.
I mean,
you wouldn't have sold the other one.
Yeah, I mean, I have very fond memories of my old GS400. That was the bike I bought when I passed my test.
It's those rites of passage
because
bikes, isn't it?
I mean, I've said this before in a previous Q&A. It's not about the bike; it's where it sits in my biking history.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think my RD250, which had L plates on it, and I was just a little hooligan, trainers and a denim cut off, and went around terrorising my local area, and it was that part of your life. That's like that.
Yeah.
But you want an RD250 today? No. I think so, right? Z1300. They're wonderful. In the time, they were just this stupid, great big, massive car with a car engine in, with handlebars. Yeehaw! But now you look at them, they're quite small now.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the big adventure bikes.
Yeah, all running around on tyres that fat.
With a 130 section back tyre with a shaft which has cush drives.
Do they?
Apparently so. We had to Google it though because we're stupid. We don't know these things. I don't know really. Top 5. How do you do it? I don't know. Difficult to know. I like to try and scramble at the moment.
That's what I mean. You like the bike you've got
What
currently.
about you
usually.
then? What are you? 10 bikes up now? 10, 12 bikes up now?
Yeah, but I just enjoy the bike that I've got at the time. My current bike is the one I enjoy.
The Bonneville.
You sold the other bike for a reason, don't you?
Yeah, because you broke it. Wheeled it into a hedge. Don the showdown.
Right. Moving on.
Moving right along.
Moving swiftly on.
David Tarplett says post-96 cars are for the most part fitted with OBD2 plugs for diagnostic scanners.
Star Wars,
OBD2? He
Yeah,
was, yeah.
yeah.
It was the gold one, wasn't he?
Ewan McGregor, wasn't it? No.
Come on, that's a different episode. Do you know nothing? God, bloody hell. Do your research, woman.
going to say, get your question ready.
Come on, get on with it.
I know there's is a Honda diagnostic plug fitted to my Blackbird, which I've yet to find. But as a former employee of bike industry, I thought you might know the answer.
What? Where it is?
Is there a Honda diagnostic plug fitted to my Blackbird, which I've yet to find?
Yeah, there always is.
Yeah.
If you've got an ECU, fuel injection, you've got to have some way of checking that ECU or programming it in the first place.
And it won't be difficult to get at because your Honda technician will need to access it periodically.
Absolutely. Like on the Harleys, they're quite awkward because you actually have to take the ECU box off,
Right.
and then plug it in, and then plug it back in. So that's a
Yeah.
little bit back to front. But it's not difficult to do. But the question I've come to my head: what are you trying to do? Why do you want access to it? Are you trying to remap it? Are you trying to fit a power commander? Has it told you to plug it into that? If so, then it will be in the instructions. I don't get it. So what you're trying to do, send us a message on either on the comments to this video or in a PM. Tell me what you're trying to do and I'll see if I can give you something more accurate, because that's not really a question as such, is it? Yes, it has a plug and it's not that difficult to find. I don't know exactly where it is. I'd look for it. I'd soon find it. It will be in the area under the seat, around the loom, the back of the engine, I would imagine. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, on my Suzuki, it's under the seat.
It's not going to be in the left-hand indicator, is it?
No,
It's
no.
going to be somewhere obvious. So it's not small, it's not a large place to look. But just send me what it is you're actually trying to do and I'll see if I can help that way.
Cool. Okay. Next question. Mike acting 21.
Oh, go on then.
No, because you won't eat your lunch either.
I will. Full English breakfast later on. Definitely. Go on then.
I'm prepping my O2 XJ600N for the track this summer. I'm replacing the brake lines, brake pads,
Hang on.
tyres.
Alright. An XJ600, is that a diversion?
That's a divvy, isn't it?
And you're prepping it for the track.
What?
Cool. No, that's cool.
You said that with feeling. With
No.
yeah.
That is so cool. Do you remember in Street Fighters magazine, they did a series called Early Stocks?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was just go and buy any old nail you can buy in the bike breakers and take it to the track. I love that. Sorry, brilliant. Carry on.
Is there
Where
anything
were we?
particular? Is there anything particular I can get done from an engineering standpoint to get my bike as fast as possible? And would it
Nitrous.
Mmm.
Probably won't allow it though.
Cliff.
Yeah, kick it off a cliff. No, seriously now. Come on.
All jokes aside.
No, come on. Fast as possible. Go on.
Well,
carry on, read on.
before we fully answer that, have a look at Matt Perkins, One Boy's Dream.
Yeah,
Does a CB500, does something
yeah.
in the same sort of vein. Have a look at his videos. Might inspire you, but sorry, carry on.
would it be useful to get a rear and front suspension change on my bike to improve performance? For example, a FZR front end swap.
It would. And what you could also do is include the FZR 600 middle bit.
Yeah. Engine, frame.
Engine
Swing
frame,
arm.
swing arm, wheels, bars, the lot.
Yeah.
In fact, ride an FZR 600. But no, seriously, it would make a difference if it matters, doesn't it? If you're trying to, what we're trying to do, what are you trying to do here? What are you trying to achieve?
I mean, I'm assuming you've got a tight budget and you just want to have a bit of a hoop around a track.
Yeah, yeah. In which day, I'd certainly say the wheels from the FZR would afford you better tyre choice.
They would.
Because they're going to be wider and smaller. You'll get 17-inch front and you'll get a 5-inch rear. 5-inch for a 150, 160 rear. Instead of probably what is a 130, I'd imagine. And a 19 or 18-inch front. So you certainly, the wheels would make a difference because you could then put some chewy rubber on it. Suspension-wise, what's that? It's a monoshock in it. So, yeah, I mean, certainly the FZR monoshock's going to be for a lighter bike, so it might be a bit undersprung, a bit underdamped for a heavier bike, but then if you're going to strip all the crap off it, etc. Certainly the forks, if you can get them to fit, but then how much work are you doing when you can just go and buy an old FZR?
I don't know whether they do fit. I mean, if you've got an FZR available for donor parts,
just use that.
Why aren't you using the FZR?
Or you could put the divvy forks in the FZR.
Yeah,
that'd make it really interesting.
Make it really exciting.
It's really exciting. You'd have to be a really good rider then, wouldn't you? Not to go in the hedge. Right, so I hope that helps a bit. So yeah, certainly change the suspension, but you know, enjoy the bike and ask yourself what you're trying to do with it before you go spending silly money. What do you think?
But have a look at Matt Perkins' stuff.
Okay.
Cool. Next question. Any plans for new bikes, or are you sticking with Triumphs? Or Dave, are you sticking with your
Yes,
bike?
no, I haven't got a Triumph. Last Triumph I had got nicked.
Told you that was a cheapie, didn't I?
If you had £5,000 to £8,000 lying around, what would you buy?
A money box.
Yeah, because lying around's dangerous, isn't it?
Ooh.
God, £8 grand, you can buy so
I'm going to
much.
stick with my Triumph for the time being.
If you had £8 grand, and your bike wasn't there, what would you buy? With 8 grand.
Well,
That's a lot of money. You
Yeah,
can buy anything with 8 grand, especially if you go used.
but from a girl point of view, with the height issue and stuff, it would either have to be a Sportster or a Bonneville.
Like super low or something. Yeah.
So
You're restricted.
it's a little bit restrictive when you're not so tall.
Such a tool as I am. I don't know, 8 grand's a lot of money, isn't it? You could do so much with that.
Yeah.
I would think, to be honest, it's time to then, with that much money as a budget, I'd build something.
Yeah.
From scratch.
I think that's probably the answer, isn't it? Because that way you can.
There's frames
You
now.
can get exactly what you want.
You can go to hard up choppers, you can buy the frame for the GSX-R engine.
Yeah.
You can buy an old Bandit or GSX-R motor and you could put 3 grand into that motor and make it comfortably 150 brake horse without any difficulty. You could buy running gear, left, right and centre. You got the wheels for the scrambler we got, 1,500 quid. So for 8 grand you could put an extremely nice, bespoke, one-of-a-kind calf racer together that is capable of keeping up with anything modern. So that would be where I'd go. I'd build something completely unique with 8 grand for sure.
Cool. Okay. Next question. Simon Cartwright.
Hey, right, Simon. Good to hear, mate.
Couple of questions. What is the easiest way to put middle 2 spark plugs in and out of a 600 Bandit? Do I have to take the tank off?
Yeah, I know why he's asking that, because when you look under, there's that much gap.
Yeah.
But if you look down the hole, you'll see the hole isn't parallel that. It kind of leans backwards towards the back of the bike. So you bring the plug, you put the plug in your plug spanner, and if you go in your toolkit on the Bandit, you've got a plug spanner with a joint in it, like a knuckle, you know, and you put the plug in the end, and you slide the plug across the back of the engine, and it slides down the hole, and it will drop in, and then you're left with like an inch of like nut bolt head, and you just do that with an open ender, or just take the tank off.
I mean, yeah, it has to be said, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, okay, so you can do it without taking the tank off, but it takes minutes, moments even, to take the tank off.
It does.
And if you're tinkering anyway, I always think it's a good idea to have the tank out of the way so you can have a good old
check all the
inspection.
connections and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing that Bandits like to do, where the coils are right there above, if you're mauling around underneath there, the plug wire that plugs onto the coils is just kind of gently plugged in, and they can kind of come loose. So I like to just get under there.
I mean, only a little 1/4 inch spade thing,
tiny
aren't they?
little
They
thing,
just pop off for
just
a
little 1/4 inch spade, just plug them on, make sure your
Yeah.
connections are all good, and make a nice job of it. Yeah.
And his next question was, how often do you clean your chain on your bike?
When it's dirty. Whenever it's dirty.
Yeah.
In the winter, oddly enough, I don't, because I run the Scott oiler full of 2-stroke oil, and I run it turned right up, so it just pisses oil all over it, and it washes all the dirt off, and it works really, really well. The back of the bike's plastered, but that just jet washes off with a steam cleaner. The summertime though, I turn it right down, and when it gets a bit claggy, toothbrush and WD.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, my TDM does about 250 miles a week. And I probably clean the chain on it. Well, I probably don't do it as often as I should do, but in the winter months when it's horrible and salty and crappy, I probably clean that at least once a week, probably twice a week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, keep it clean, that's all.
Cool. Next question from Heliquin, Paul and Sarah.
Hey, Paul. Hi, Sarah.
I bought my lovely half, Sarah, a CBT training day for her birthday, but she's undecided which option to go for.
Cool, well done. Good luck.
Does she stick with the 125 for a year and then build up to a bigger bike over time?
It's 2
or
years,
does she go to, it's 2 years.
Yeah.
It's 2 years.
Go straight to direct access and then get a CB500, for example, as a first bike? A lot depends on riding rather than being a pillion. Well,
the argument there is, it is 2 years on the 125, and that's a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time.
it's a long time, but I did it that way, and I found it gave me the confidence to just get out on the road and build up my confidence.
And there is a lot of difference between a 125 and a 500, for instance.
Oh yeah, yeah. The physical task of mauling it around and moving a 500 around can tilt your fear. You can tilt your fear button early on, and it can really taint your confidence early on, having to move a bike around that's heavy. Holly used to say that whenever she had to move a Harley, it was always tiptoe, it was always heavy, and it's always that close from going over. So you're constantly scared. So I don't know. It's so much plays a part in it, and it's all down to the rider, isn't it?
It's down to the rider and how you feel once you get on the road. But personally, I'd rather be really proficient on a 125 and really confident on it, and then not worry about the bike, but worry about your confidence building,
Yeah,
and then go to a bigger bike.
definitely.
Not only that, everyone today wants everything instant and everyone wants it
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's nice to get that feeling
Absolutely.
of satisfaction where you've built up to something and you finally achieved your bigger bike.
Yeah.
So that's the way I
built
look
up.
at it.
Yeah, she is very clever.
Yeah.
Far
See
too
why
clever
we-
for us.
Far too clever, yeah. That's why we keep her on, isn't it? Lisa, we shine, we bask in the glow. We're,
That's just-
we're intelligent by association.
It's just my view.
Opinion.
I
Yeah.
think sometimes life's too fast and everyone wants everything straight away. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice to build up and really appreciate something.
Let's add a point there as well. Talk to the instructor and ask that question to what the instructor thinks, because motorcycle instructors, not the advanced boys, but the people who teach you to get through your test, they are incredibly intuitive and clever people. They see people in your position every single day of the week and they focus their training on what you need, and this is you needing. So ask them and they'll focus it, they'll give you some guide. They maybe let you ride a 500 off-road around the pad and then you can actually test it for yourself. Communication with the instructor is a great thing, don't you think? Because Trevor was great with you, wasn't he? He let you just try the 500, it wasn't right, you chose the 125. Yeah, cool, right. Excellent.
Sad Prism, there's Scott from Alatoona, Pennsylvania.
Hey, hello Scott.
Wow.
Welcome, Gus.
If you were unable to hold up a two-wheeler anymore, would you go for a trike or a sidecar?
Thank you for it.
Trike
A trike or a sidecar? For me, if it's a trike, it's got to be a car engine trike and it's got to be stupid.
Yeah.
It's got to be a
Yeah.
ridiculous 454 cubic inch V8 with stack pipes and in the front. So it's just mental. Or definitely, if it's going to be a bike engine, it's got to be a sidecar. And I definitely think only one sidecar for me, a Ural combo.
Yeah.
A Cossack, the Russian version of the Ural combination in combat green with knobbly tyres and spikes and grenades and guns. And a gun rack from our guns, because guns are my friends. Sorry.
We digress.
Yeah, we digress. Over to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've owned a chair outfit and they are enormous fun. They're really great fun. And I have ridden a trike, and I think, as you say, if you're looking at a bike orientated bit of kit, the sidecar is more the way to go than the trike.
It's just
But as you say, if you want something that's balls out stupid.
Yeah, stupid and Mundo. Like the red trike at the Mag Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
That big 400 inch V8 in it. Big tyres, 2 feet wide. Yeehaw!
Front wheel's over there somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Coming through. Trundle. It's in the high street, all the shop windows crack. Bit heavy.
Want one.
Yeah, I want one of them. Right, so that's the answer. Definitely, if it's a trike, a big fat engine, and if it's a bike, definitely a combo. Don't you? What about you? That's a question for you too. What do you think? Like a nice girly trike? Oh, there's
Trike
bike engine.
more than a sidecar. That just reminds me of Wallace and Gromit.
Smashing lad!
Wensleydale.
Wednesday, we're having some cheese, lad.
That's what it reminds me.
Definitely agree with that. Yeah,
Apologies to anyone who's got a sidecar.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyone
cool though, isn't
Anyone called Wallace.
You call Wallace with a sidecar. We're really sorry. We'd like to say from the bottom of our heart, don't really give a shit. No office space with me.
Oh. Right, next one. Carlos Van Watsenhausen.
Oh, that's that. Can you just say that again? Because that's just so.
Carlos von Watsenhausen.
Watzenhazen. That's like Schwarzenegger would say, isn't it?
Carlos
Bandit is
Alfred
Watzenhazen.
from Transition.
Transitions. If you listen to any of the videos recently with music by the Transitions, Carlos is the lead singer. A very cool and very talented man. Welcome, Carlos, and thank you for your question. What is the
wants to
question
know,
anyway?
when did you last pop a wheelie? And how good was it?
And how big was it?
How good was it?
Well, how good it was could be indicated by the fact that it ended up with twigs.
What, between your teeth?
They're everywhere, mate. Twigs in the bike. Donald Jardin. It didn't go well. I'm not good
I'm
at
worried. Is he thinking of doing one on his Harley?
it. Yeah, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Be like Matt Mingay, wouldn't it? If you think wheelies can't be done on Harleys, then just Google Matt Mingay. He can wheelie anything, especially a Harley. No, it wasn't. I don't do wheelies. I'm rubbish at it. The last time I really tried hard, it ended in the garden, so that wasn't good. But anyway,
I am rubbish at wheelies, although the SV does do them occasionally
without you on it.
without you wanting to.
Do you think that's a weight thing?
It could be.
It could be. Like the rotational.
Do you think
the
it might
bike's
have
trying to
something to do
escape.
with this?
It could be to do with the cake.
Or it could be because it's chained to the garage.
Is that what your garage doors like a walk?
No, I can't do it, but not intentionally.
Well, at my age, it's the pain and suffering now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think when you're younger and you don't mind falling off, and it's a bike that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think actually, to be honest, in all seriousness, I've thought loads of times about building a bespoke stunt bike.
Yeah.
A dedicated, stunt-specific bike, like a real lightweight, sort of an R6 or something, with the big, 100-tooth back sprocket, and that would be really cool fun to play with. But where can you do it?
But and even
you get a Tesco car park, you can get chased off by the special
and it would
needs
still
lad with
just
a
be
trolley,
a toy,
aren't you?
wouldn't it? It would be something you could use for an hour every third Sunday morning.
Yeah, and even riding it down there is going to be difficult. You need a van and all that. I'm just not good enough
Oh,
at
it's
it.
too
Really.
complicated.
I'm not good enough at it.
And
I
there's a
think you
little
need
voice
to be
in my head going, collarbone.
collarbone, scaphoid. Yeah, I think you can't teach talent. That's the problem.
No.
And I ain't got none.
No.
So I'm never going to learn it. Good enough.
Right. See you soon, Carlos.
See you soon.
Lamarco. Dieter. I'll just say Dieter because I know
Dieter.
Dieter. I heard of people never change the fork oil in their oil. Fork oil in their oil. Fork oil in their bike. Is this bad or not?
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
Why would you
all
not change it?
Well, there is a sort of an issue here, isn't there, with the rate at which people change their bikes.
That's right, yeah. If you buy your bike new and you ride it for 100,000 miles, then you'll have neglected it. But mostly we don't, do we? We buy a bike, it's X years old, you've no idea whether it's been changed, probably not.
Probably not.
Most people, I'm going to keep it for a year, I don't bother with all that deep, long-term stuff.
And then the next person thinks exactly the same.
And on it goes,
and on it goes.
4 owners, 5 years each, 20-year-old bike, never had it changed.
Brake fluid's the same.
Absolutely, yeah. Engine oil in some cases.
Well,
as
yeah.
You know.
So if it's a bike, if it's a second-hand bike, it's new to you, it doesn't cost very much to do, does it?
No, it doesn't. And it's important because the hydraulic oil, and it gets forced through the valves in the damper rod, and that gradually breaks down the molecular structure, so gradually it deteriorates, and obviously it collects condensation.
Yes.
And that water content starts to rust the internal parts of the forks.
I want to say hygroscopic, but I can't pronounce it.
Can you not? Don't say it then.
All right then.
No, we didn't say that. What's it hygroscopic? Scop.
That's if you live in Surrey, isn't it?
That's the one.
Scorpic.
I think cake's quite good for helping
Cake's
you
good for that.
word.
Memory food, mate. It's got banana in it.
I'll just have me part of me 5 a day then.
Yeah, that's it. Lemon and banana, 2 of your 5 a day. Jobs are good.
Every one a winner.
Absolutely.
Right, next question before we get into too much cake. Jonas J. Petronka says he's bought an OEM Honda chain and sprocket kit for my Hornet. The master link came on its own sealed packet, lathered in a snotty white grease stuff. But it's not generous enough.
Lithium Grease.
They are so
Grease.
tight-fisted. They never supplied another packet of white snot. What is it? I tried looking on the internet, no one seems to know what it is.
Probably because you're Googling bike snot. Hey, bike snot. Look, there's none. Can't find any. Right, what you're looking at is called lithium grease. White lithium grease. And you only ever need a tiny smear of it on the original link itself. You normally do get a little postage stamp sized thingamabob with it, and you don't use more than a tiny little squidge of it. Can buy it, mate. It's called lithium grease. You buy a big pot of it, you'll still have it when you retire.
Yes. Yeah, that might be slightly too much.
You kind of need a wipe. That much. Honestly, just regular grease is fine. When you're assembling that chain, you can put lithium grease. It doesn't melt, does it? That's what it's about. And the chain gets hot, it doesn't melt and run away. So you might try some of the car accessory shops maybe, and see if you can get a little tube of it. Just a small quantity of white lithium grease. That's the stuff you're looking for. And don't ask them for bike snot.
No.
Probably won't know what you mean.
Might not have any.
Might not have any, I'm sure.
Right. Alex Ferreira. Hi, Alex.
Hi Alex.
Hi, Lola.
I know what his question is. When are you coming to Portugal?
We were there, couldn't find you.
Am I wrong? Yeah, we came there last Tuesday. We're not, but you were out.
You
So
were
we
there.
all came home again. What can we say? Just saying. You know.
Alex, we will get there one day.
Yeah, one day.
We will. He wants to know what happens if the oil level is slightly above maximum. He hears myths that it will blow up the engine or summon Satan.
It does that for sure. It definitely does that. Right. What does he mean, Santa?
But yeah.
Does it summon Santa? That's the... Right, I would say, yeah, on a Harley Davidson, for sure, overfilling the oil means that it will come through the rocker breathers or the cylinder head breathers, and it ends up going into the fuel injection in the carb, and it can bugger up a few things there. Or the very worst it would do is fill up the air filter, which is nasty. Also, it can leak. And this is the main
Yes.
issue. Any bike that's got dry sump lubrication, which simply means it's got an oil tank or oil container, even if it's oil in frame in your old Triumph,
Yeah, T140, yeah.
wherever your oil is stored, if it's not in the sump of the engine, then it can simply overflow. And that's important that doesn't happen, because invariably the overflow is right in front of your back wheel.
Yeah.
Just when you go around the corner, you douse your back wheel in oil, so it comes round on you. So yeah, obviously the natural safety thing, and it can blow seals, can't it? Rare. It's got to be massively overfilled.
You have to be, you have to be a lot overfilled
Yeah.
to start having serious problems.
But the reason I think what he's asked this is very important, because some people think my bike constantly uses oil, I always have to put a little bit in every week, so I'll just put a load in and that will see me for a couple of weeks.
But it doesn't quite work like that.
No, it doesn't work. The first thing it will do is it will blow it all out, won't it? You'll start burning it. It will come up the side of the bores, and it will pressurise, or it will put the oil scraper rings under more pressure, won't it? And as that happens, it gets hotter and it burns, and that glues the oil scraper rings into their seat as it starts to calcify, and then that gradually will work its way up into the cylinder, and it will start smoking as you're literally burning the oil. That's not very clever. And then obviously it will naturally come out the breathers. It will be blown out of the air breathers, and as it gets blown out of the top of the rocker cover, that will go into your air box, and it will douse your air filter in oil.
And once again, you'll start burning it.
You'll start then sucking it into the engine and burning it. So it will notice, it will start smoking, it will smell oily. That's just not a good thing to do. Just measure it. It can't be hard, can it?
Okay.
Thanks, Alex.
Keep the beers on the table.
Keep the beers in the
there.
fridge. In the fridge. It's Portugal. It's hot there.
Oh yeah.
Don't keep them on the table unless you've opened it for me,
Okay.
and I'll be there in a minute.
Right. Next question. Boogie TJ. Hi Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Right.
He's a new rider building up his experience. He's finding that when he leans into corners, he's hesitant, but it doesn't lean so much into the right hand bends as he can into the left, which is odd because he's right handed.
How does that work then? Actually, I know, and I totally agree with this. I'm weirdly enough left-handed, but I find right-hand corners easier.
Well, that's interesting, because
maybe
I'm right-handed and I find left-hand bends easier.
Maybe it's the side of the head thing, because whatever hand you are, you think with the opposite side of your head, don't you?
Yeah.
So that means that if you're right-handed, then
He's
it's
right-handed,
then it's the left-hand side of your brain that's doing the work to operate your right hand.
Yeah.
So is that the more active side? I don't know if that works, or that's just a load of crap.
I don't know, it could be
That's a load of crap, really.
You could have just invented
I
that.
don't know.
I did just invent that, actually. I don't know. I think this is about practice,
That's
mate.
practice. It's
I would say the first thing, though, before you do anything else, is check your tyres. I don't know if it's a new bike you saw at Triumph.
Yes.
It's new, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Check the tyre pressures, make sure they're correct first, because all bikes react differently if their tyre pressure, especially the front, is lower than it should be. So get that done first of all. Eliminate that. If it still persists, check your wheel alignment, your rear wheel alignment and your fork alignment. Don't think for a minute, because it's a factory bike and you just go from the dealer, that it's correct. Nothing to say that it should be. When they come out the box from the factory, they need a assembly process. Everything has to be assembled and put together, and human beings do this, so therefore it can be incorrect. So check all that's right. Once that's happened and you're sure that everything's straight and your time pressure's right, it's just a case of practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also do what I did. Rather than worry about doing it on the road, go and find an empty car park somewhere and just do your turns in the car park bays.
Figure it out.
turns.
Do you remember the lock turns we did for you?
Yeah,
when
in
we
the
were
car park
training,
days.
when we were training Penny Pit Stop here, we had this little fun thing that Trevor taught us, the instructor, and it was a thing that he called lock turns. Now you get the bike going around in a circle in a big empty car park, and just round and round in a circle, and you decrease that circle tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until you're on full lock, and you're going literally at a creeping pace. And your feet are up. It's kind of like a balance, like a circus act thing, isn't it? Now, but what you're doing is you're using the clutch and the foot brake, the rear brake, to kind of balance the bike. Now, as you go around those right-hand corners, decreasing more and more and more, what you don't realise you're doing is you're practicing, aren't you? You're practicing the balance. The other thing is find a really like the cliff top over at Bournemouth Cliff Top. Find a nice area of swervy road with lots of right-handers, and just get over there and just practice on it. Yep. Practice. Even race riders who go to a track have a day to practice before the race. Everybody needs practice. Nobody is above that. So practice those right-handers, and I'm sure it will improve. What do you think?
Yep, that's
Good luck with it, mate. How are we getting on?
Last question for
Oh my
this
goodness, that was
session.
quick. Oh my god.
Paul Mitchell says, serious one this, because
Serious?
Oh, that's no good then.
Serious?
what can us older bikers do to get youngsters into biking? The reason he's asking is that all my mates ride in the 80s are now obviously older, and when they go to bike meets, it's striking.
He must be our age.
striking to see the average age of the majority of bikers is 40 upwards. Is it a dying breed? What can we do?
He's very right. It's
He
very
is.
true.
He is so true, and that's a brilliant, brilliant question. Best one of the whole series, I think. All 11 videos. Oh, that's an excellent question. Something very close to my heart, actually. I think that, oddly enough, we aren't a dying breed because what's being fed into the bike community is the 40-year-olds. You're taking this view that you're fed in as a young age of 20 or 18 and that you have it all the way through to your 50s. It's not. People coming into biking now are the sub or the post 40-year-olds, you know, and that's purely because they got the money to do it, they got the time, and obviously the motivation because they remember doing it when they were a kid. So all the kids today who ride a little bike for 5 minutes, then go off and get a car, they'll be back, won't they? They'll be back when they're 40 or 50. So no, we're not a dying breed, but I do know what he means, and it's really important to me to engage with the young people, and that's what the channel's about. This channel is posted on YouTube because that is a social media that young people use. They use it on their phone, they watch it on their phone, that means they can relate to it. It identifies, we're not really, I mean, YouTube, internet, computers, it's above me and you before 2 years ago, wasn't it? I never could even operate a computer 6 years ago. It's all about engaging with your audience on a lower level. So if you're a biker and you're in your 40s and you want to engage with younger people, then get to bike meets and say hello, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really on the basics. Go up and say to them, nice bike, mate.
I mean, bike meets and people that ride bikes generally, it's a great leveler, isn't it?
It
you know,
is.
if you turn up at a bike meet,
Common interest.
Exactly. You are, you know, there's no, you know, and so just walk up to people, say hello, have a bit of a chat about what they've got.
Absolutely.
But,
Also, nodding on the road.
yeah.
I had a whole video in the FRO series about this. You know, when you see a youngster on the road on a 50, ask yourself, how many times do you nod at them, give them a wave, and get ignored?
Yeah.
But they don't expect it. They're not ignoring you because they hate you and they want to offend you. They're doing it because they don't really get what it's all about. And I think when I was getting first nodded at by bikers, I thought, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Well, I remember exactly that because, I mean, when I was 17, if you had, you know, L plates flapping in the breeze, you didn't get nodded at.
No.
Passing your test was that rite of passage. And I remember the first day that the L plates were gone. 17 years old, I thought I was it.
Hard as nails. Yeah.
And
First ticket. Half hour later, on the way home from the test centre.
But within a mile of the test centre, you get a nod, and do you
Yeah.
know, and it's just such a
Feel
boost.
epic.
You
You do. King of the world,
Epic.
well, king of the world. And if you can instil that in youngsters,
Yes, absolutely.
you know, that feeling of belonging and, you know, just feeling.
Also, I think though, to a certain degree, it's such a rigmarole to go through your test now.
Oh yeah, hats
A
off
lot
to
of
anyone that
kids.
does it.
A lot of kids now are being put off going for their bike test because when old gits like us did it and yourself did,
If you could get there without killing yourself, you'd pass.
yeah,
pretty
you went
much.
around the block a couple times, blah blah blah. We all know this.
Yeah.
But now they go through Mod 1, Mod 2, and A2 licence, 47
Yeah.
horsepower. To go through all that, there isn't any kind of final one-off success, is
No.
there? It's tiny little successes that kind of dribble into your bike life.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that big fanfare of arriving as a licensed biker is watered down, isn't it? Because it doesn't happen all at once, does it? It's a long process, and sometimes 2 years on a small bike, then you graduate.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
big wonderful graduation, so they don't feel that graduation. But I do believe that supporting them, talking to them, helping them out, and anybody in your family getting on a bike, that's another good one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Youngsters,
yeah. I've
teenagers,
got a couple of nephews that
get
do
them
their
into it.
thing.
Yeah, and also the other side of it as well is try and get them working on their bikes, isn't it, don't you think?
Yes.
Because they can't afford to go to garages, they haven't got the money, they've barely got the money to buy their bikes. I made a video some time ago about an FRO on Chinese bikes, and I think I've reconsidered to a degree my view on that. It isn't the Chinese bikes that are at fault. In fact, I think without them we'd be kind of stuck, and we'd be where you're suggesting, i.e. a bit lost, because we wouldn't have any bikes to ride under 400, would we? When you look
No.
at it, you know, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, Kawasaki, they're all guilty of completely abandoning the learner market, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
They'll do a CBR 125, but it's 3 sodding grand,
Yeah.
and it looks like a race bike. Oh, we all want one, but that doesn't get what they want, does it?
No.
What they need is a little pom-pom to go up the road on, pass their test, totally reliable, that they can pick up, that looks as good as the day they got it,
Yeah.
stick it on eBay, get 90% of their
Yeah.
money back as a down payment on their 400.
Yeah.
That's what they need,
what
but
they
they can't. They buy this Chinese bike, off it goes, worth 50p in a bacon sandwich, throw that in a skip, and then what do they do to buy a bike? They're
Yeah.
screwed. They can't. I see lads at work now, they're buying a 600 Bandit for 500 quid, struggling to get the thing on the road for the first bike. So a lot of it, the bike market's abandoned the new rider. They're focusing on where the profit is in the older riders, which
Yeah,
is
who already have a licence, yeah.
it's going round and round, isn't
Yeah.
it? So it's really just put your arm around their shoulder metaphorically and welcome them into the family. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's what we do with the channel. That's what we're all about. Okay, does that answer it?
That's it. Thank you.
Is that it? Is that it for number 11?
That's
My
it.
word.
Just before we go,
Just before we go. Alright.
always have to have a little gift for Dave. Right. Now, bear in mind when you open this, this is to be used in the garage.
It's for your garage, mate.
It will make sense when you open it.
You open it. I haven't seen
If
it.
it makes sense, I'm in the wrong place.
Is it?
We know
Sorry,
how
again?
much you love tea. And that's to keep your tea warm.
It's a keep a tea
It's got
warm.
a jumper.
It's got a cosy on it.
A tee with an Aaron jumper around it.
Oh, complete with buttons.
Yeah, Aaron buttons. That's just because you're an old git now, that works for you.
To keep your tea warm when you're working on your bike.
Superb. Cup of tea with an Aaron jumper. You listen about Doonican while you're having to tea, don't you?
I want to tell you a story.
On that note, I think we should go.
Right, thank you for watching them so far. That's been number 11. We had about another 30 or 40 questions, but honestly, most have been asked before, or they were just long-winded and they wouldn't have been very interesting for you. So we'll do another few as the summer rolls on, and we'll put out another shout for questions. If we didn't answer yours, then make a note when we do, and we'll try and get them done then. Wouldn't you say?
I'll keep a note of them.
Okay, take it easy, ride safe. Thanks for watching, folks. See you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.